Hey man, listen, yo, welcome back to Mic Check. Get another episode, man. We're pushing into episode 12, the finale itself.
This is it.
Look, I got my brothers with me. I got my brother Doc. I got my brother Josh. And look, this time we're doing something different. We in the flesh today.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I brought it into Raleigh. Had to be in the same room with the
Yes,
fellas,
sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
And
Welcome, brother.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate
Welcome
it,
to
bro.
Carolina, bro.
I appreciate it. Hey, Doc tried to get us right with some drinks, but hey, I'm gonna start out. I'm gonna start out with the
Some high quality
Yes,
H2O.
sir. I'm gonna start out with this at least. But look, it's a pleasure just to be in the building with these guys, man. And but look, let me get it started going. What is this space? This space is a space of transparency where we can completely be ourselves. Speak from a space where we come from in the past, and also what we're leading into our future. But also, most importantly, something I've never really called out within this space. But I really look at this as more so around a space of like where black men can have these conversations. 'Cause I don't think there's many spaces that encourage these conversations with one another. So I think for this season and even last season, that's something I want to make sure I call out and point out to make sure that it's okay to have these conversations with the fellas.
Definitely.
So look, here we go. Mic check, minute conversations. Look, we got another special topic. I'm gonna pass one over to my brother Doc.
Yes,
Who can
sir.
get us rolling with what are we carrying forward?
Right.
So without further ado, brother, I'm gonna pass it over to you.
All right, man. Let's dive into it. As always, for our viewers, we got some questions, man, that we're gonna tackle together. We're just gonna round robin them and just give our perspective. So just note that this is not a right or wrong situation. It's just our perspective on hot topics that we feel brothers should have. So like DB mentioned, what are you carrying forward? I think that's pretty pretty beneficial, for our closer. You know what I mean? We talked about like a lot of very, very, very dope topics, man. We had a variety of, guests come in and help us, dissect it and give their perspectives as well.
Definitely.
So this season has been great, man. And so I think it's only fitting for our season end to be this theme. So like I mentioned, man, we talked about a lot of things over the course of the season about identity, about growth, relationships, habits. But honestly, like none of that matters if we don't decide like what we're actually taking with us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I think like growth isn't necessarily just what you learn. It's ultimately, what you keep and what you can leave behind as well. So, I think with that being said, we always kind of try to start off a little light. So, a question for you guys, man, including myself: what's one conversation this season that stuck with you?
I think we'll go back to the last episode when we was with Fred, man. What would the 20-year-old you be proud of you now?
Yeah.
And I, like I said, like I answered on the last episode, man. Yes, the growth and being able to transcend and to be able to overcome certain obstacles throughout life, that you're present in right now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that conversation right there, because we was talking about what we were doing in our 20s, you know what I'm saying? We was in college, trying to make it out, trying to get that job, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to do everything that society has told us to do, looking back now being 32, I know that my 20-year-old self will be proud of me. You know what I'm saying? The obstacles, the stuff that you've been through, the trials and tribulations, the yeses and the nos and stuff like that. So, I think that conversation, it kind of hits home looking back, because we've made it.
Yeah.
Here at 32, you know what I'm saying? Thinking back to what we was doing in our 20s, man. We ain't had really no responsibility.
Right.
Wake up, go to class. That's pretty much it. Party, so that conversation with 20-year-old be proud of me today. That's probably the conversation this season that stuck with me.
Yeah.
Man, I don't think we had a bad conversation, bro. And not one of it. And I'm still looking at the list of what we had back in the archives, but that one that Josh just hit on most definitely. I think the biggest thing to call out is like the evolution of ourselves from our 20s into where we are today has been crazy. And I'm also thinking about like the expectations that we had in ourselves then as a 20-year-old and then now in our mid 30s.
Yeah.
Completely different than what I would have initially thought I would be today.
That's a fact.
Just kind of rounding out where we are. Man, I think for me, it would have to be probably episode 6, the quiet loneliness of men is something I think that's, and I say that because I don't think that, I don't know how people really look at like the loneliness conversation in itself. And granted, it's different ways you can actually talk on it, right? But
Right.
I think it's so necessary, even to this day, to have your moments to yourself and it not be a bad view. But also still to have some good guys around,
Right.
and make sure you got a good counsel, I would say.
Right.
So I think that one is probably the main one that hit home with me.
Facts.
Yeah,
No, I love that. Like, because essentially it requires balance. You know what I'm
absolutely,
saying? It requires
absolutely,
intentionality as well. Like,
man.
you don't want to be like that, having that lonely state, man, and you know, let it spiral into something, you know, that you making decisions that's harmful and
Right.
to dig yourself out of.
Right.
You know, so going back to what you said about brothers in your corner, or anyone, not, it doesn't even have to be brothers, but you know, just for the sake of, you know, the cast in itself, we do feel like, you know, it's definitely worth having like some strong brothers in your
Yeah,
corner. But
That counsel.
Nah,
that
absolutely.
counsel for
And
sure.
the line, I think we talked about, I believe it was this season, talk about alignment.
Yeah.
You know, aligning yourself with people that's for you and that's going to hold you accountable, not just always yes man, but you need that person in your corner that's going to tell you, nah, bro, that's not cool.
ain't
You know what I'm
cool,
saying?
bro.
Or
Yeah.
maybe you should revisit this situation and see, you know, a different side of things.
Right.
Just, you don't need all yes men in your corner. You
Right.
need somebody that's going to tell you no.
And be straight. Just tell me. Be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, bro,
Be
you
real.
said you was about to do this by the end of this year. End of the year come by, you ain't make no forward
Right.
movement.
Right.
Right.
What's up with that?
And what that makes you have to do? It makes you have to isolate.
Like
you
that.
got to do your own
Gotta-
thing.
exactly.
Bro. I'm telling you,
Exactly.
it's so critical, man.
I feel that. That's a good one. I think both of those are really good options. I think for me, I'll go back to episode 4 with Dion. And when we were talking
Yes.
about, like, you know, just the hidden truths when
Right.
it comes to why men avoid difficult conversations.
Yeah.
And man, that resonated so well with me, because I think to a certain extent, not the reason why this podcast is you know in seat as of right now running, but certain aspects of that conversation does hint to why we have this platform that we're all
Right.
speaking on right now. There's definitely some conversations that are difficult for men to have, especially when it comes to, you know, yes, brotherhood, but also to the opposite sex. A lot of us, you know, obviously with this group, you know, we're all in relationships, married, or, you know, just have significant others and things like that, you know, especially when it comes to that situation, man, because we do shy away from that for various reasons.
Right.
You know? And
Right.
I think that resonated with me so well, and one that stuck with me, because I feel like, you know, what I learned from that essentially is, you know, be okay with the uncomfortable, you know,
Right.
or be comfortable in the uncomfortable.
There we go. Yep.
And you know, it's very uncomfortable sometimes to have those difficult conversations, especially being that we, you know, have been brought up to avoid, you know, having that emotion that comes with some of those conversations, or
Being
you
a
know,
man.
that level of vulnerability. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? That a lot of times men, you know, try to avoid. And so with that whole segment, that episode, man, that was just dope to me, because it did affirm a lot of things that I felt like I already knew.
Yeah.
You know, but it was cool to see, you know, someone, you know, come in and, you know, obviously, like, Dion is a dope human being. Shout out to Dion.
Big
first
shout
of
out.
all.
Shout out to D, man. Shout out to
If y'all
sis.
have not went back to seeing that episode, man, go back. All the episodes,
All
honestly.
of them.
But,
Yeah, key,
you know,
definitely.
but yeah,
She's a real life therapist, man.
no,
I'm trying
facts,
to tell you.
facts. And I think she definitely dropped some gems there that you know, definitely hit home, and that's the one that I would say that stuck with me the most.
And she was preaching, man.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
And I'm
We
gonna
gotta
be
get
honest,
her back.
I think the conversation with her kind of even put things in perspective for me, to like, bro, calm down. I think you talked about this a lot too, Doc, in terms of like projection, like even like hearing it and how you're receiving it. But I think hearing it from a lady
Yes, bro.
was so much of a necessity for me.
Yeah.
Cause like, let me change my delivery. Maybe it's me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's me. So I will be honest though, since that conversation, it's been so helpful in my household.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you can say things 3 different ways, but
Yeah.
how you project that,
Yes.
and how you portray it, you
The
know what I'm
delivery
saying?
is everything,
The
bro.
delivery is everything.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Nah, that's dope, man. So I mean, like, on that same vein though, like, you know, because like we talked about, we had like a lot of dope episodes, a lot of dope guests, you know, that provide their perspective. So like, what's one thing that you probably heard or even said that made you just kind of pause and like kind of like think on it a little bit more, maybe in a moment, or maybe even after the episode ended, you know, you just kind of carried out in your normal day to day? I think I could start. I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
kick
yeah.
off with this, because the thing that like resonated with me vividly, I think you said it, DB, was you know, that every, I forget what episode it was, but every yes pulls away from something else
Yeah.
that you have going on
Yeah.
that's equally or even more important than
Yeah.
what you said yes to.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, bro, when you said that, it's like the light bulb
Yeah.
clicked. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And it
Yeah.
came on, and I was just like, damn, like that's absolutely right, bro. And like from coming from somebody, it may have been like the good guy episode or something like that. But the good guy syndrome that I've had over the years or whatever, it's just like, man, I want to people please. I want to make sure everybody feels good,
Yeah.
feels comfortable, like all
Right.
of those things. You said at the beginning, I'm like, bro, I'm the one that comes with the drinks and like, hey, everybody good, like
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
me that type of thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so, just an example, but even diving in deeper with that, man, when it comes to relationships, friendships, like even in the family dynamic, man, it's just like I always want to be that peacemaker in a lot of situations. And so, like, when you say yes, and especially at the position that I'm in now, a married man having kids or whatever, and the role that I have in my job and my occupation, it's just like, man, I have to balance my time
Yeah.
very equally. Like,
Yep.
I
Yep.
can easily tip into something that, I could overexert myself and essentially be neglecting something else.
Yeah.
And so I
Absolutely.
think, like, to answer the question, when you mentioned that, bro, like it definitely resonated with me well, because, just in my position now, I'm just like, dang, like I'm in the current space of working how to set boundaries in various areas, right? And which is very important, folks. Like, it's it's essential,
Very much so, bro.
to protect your peace, and it's to also carry forward and grow. But nevertheless, I think that's what I would say when it comes to that question, man. Every yes that you commit to, just know that it's taking away from something else. And if you don't do a great job with prioritization, if you don't have the discernment to say, like, okay, can this be put on the back burner, or can this be pushed out another time? Do I absolutely have to do this right now? Then, bro, you're if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
kind of why I would leave that.
It's a fact, man. And you, like you said, you can't pour into somebody else's cup if your cup is empty.
Absolutely.
You can't be overexerting yourself, doing all this, ripping and running like that, if you ain't getting nothing poured into you.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying. It's a,
It's a give and take type of
it
situation,
is,
man.
it
You
is,
know what
it
I mean?
is, it is.
Yeah. Look, I still lean heavily into that quote though, in terms of every yes is gonna definitely take some time away. I think and to be honest, I actually look back at our past episodes. I think I said it during like 2 or 3 different episodes. But that just shows how much I actually lean into it, because I'm like, now give me a day. Give me some time to actually get back and respond. Because do I genuinely want to say yes? Nah, not all the time. But if it's a quick type of, and most times I'll say yes, and I really didn't even mean to say
Exactly.
and I really don't even want to do it. You know what I mean? So so yeah, sometimes you just gotta have those tough conversations to be able to say no.
Or even just overexerting yourself for the same people, and it's a constant cycle.
Yes, bro.
And you already know what you're gonna get every single time.
And you
Like,
know, every time you say yes, they're gonna come right back.
Exactly.
right
9
back.
times out of 10, they'll come right back.
Exactly.
I think the one, man, that I lean on heavily is probably the vacation conversation that we had about resting. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not, and I'm hoping that I can actually let this resonate in a way of saying, like, hopefully we're not only resting on vacations, like rest at home too.
Right.
And to be honest, I'm probably speaking to myself on this, because I don't rest when I'm on vacation today though.
Right.
But when I'm at the crib, I really feel like, and not just myself, but us as men, within around the families, our ladies. I think sometimes we don't want to be seen like not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Like just sitting down. But the importance of just not doing shit is so important, bro.
Yeah, bro.
It's so critical, dog.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, I'm gonna be honest, I'm actually trying my best to unlearn not resting, not relaxing. But I think for me, bro, just that whole conversation, that segment, and then like when you start hitting on those questions about like how does it feel to just kind of like step away? Do you feel guilty about resting? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm trying my best to get rid of that, bro.
Yeah.
And one person that kind of I was looking back at another clip from Fred this past week.
Shout out to Fred.
Hey, big shout out to Fred.
Shout out to
man.
Fred, man.
He came through after he did his stand up poetry on that past weekend. So I don't know if I told y'all, but
Yeah.
he put on a show in Houston, bro.
That's what's up.
Man,
Fred is solid
I already
dude,
know
man.
he did.
he put on
bro.
a show in
I already
Houston.
know he did. He
Yeah.
turned up.
And but I think hearing how he was at the age of 20, how he was so focused on like what was it he said? I think he was saying he was focused on like like people pleasing
People
too.
pleasing. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that's the same thing in terms of like just being able to rest. Granted, we people pleasing our wives. That's a whole different kind of conversation.
Right.
But also we gotta remember ourselves too.
That's dope.
So I think having that conversation is probably when it resonated to me the heaviest, and where I kind of just took a pause and I was like, dog, you need to do better, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm trying to lean into that one too.
I feel you, bro.
Yeah. And going back to like episode, I believe it was episode 1, and we talked about the men. Do you think men confused with being cool with being accepted, man? And that right there, that was first of all, that was a fire episode. If you haven't watched episode
sir.
1, you need to go back and watch episode 1. But as we progress and we move on through life, I feel like, I don't got to worry about being cool no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't got to worry about being cool. As long as I financially, mentally, spiritually sound, like that's cool to me. You know, I don't got to have the fancy cars. I mean, of course we like that materialistic things, but being able to come home to a home and to be at peace in my home, that's what's cool to me now. That's cool. And that's and it's just like, why don't you go out? Why don't you do this? Why don't we hit the club, stuff like that? I'm fine with being at the house.
Facts. Keep me at home.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, bro.
I'm fine, but you don't realize that until you live a little.
Yeah.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Out here running the streets and just hanging out, partying, drink, man. I'd rather do that in
I
the
get
house.
tired too early
I
now,
was
bro.
gonna say, send me the invite to a kickback.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the
Yes.
club.
Nah.
Every now and then you'll see me pop up. Like, and if I go to a club, bro, I need to go with people who's gonna get a section. I ain't trying to stand up amongst crowd.
Ain't nobody trying to excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Excuse me,
Stepped on my
bad.
shoe, bro.
Excuse me, bro.
Come on, man. I
Nah.
ain't trying to do all that. So, and,
facts.
some people look at, bougie, whatever. Hey, call it what you want.
No,
I've
yeah.
been there
Yeah.
and done that.
Very true.
And
we
going
talk-
back to setting those
Yeah,
limits.
and we talked about that. Man, we'll take a day party right now over anything.
Absolutely.
In the night, man.
Yeah.
In the night, man. I'm trying to be in the house by
Yeah.
9:00.
Absolutely.
Hey, look, I feel like Denzel. I'm tired right now.
Yeah.
I'm tired right now. Goddamn.
But yeah,
past
man.
anything too
But yeah,
late,
it's definitely, man, and to our viewers out there listening, man, whether you be younger or older or you're in that mid range, man, like you say, I'm the life of the party now, but it will slowly progress up out of you, man.
Yeah.
As you learn, as the older folks say, keep on living,
Keep on living,
keep
man.
on living, keep on living. You'll understand by and by. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely. No, that's that.
I feel like I can dig on that joint so much more.
Bro,
yeah.
like, facts, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I'm with you as well. Much respect, man, to that question, fellas. I think we all aligned on that. And I think like going back to what you said, DB, around like something you unlearn, I think that triggered, another question for me, because essentially like before we dive too deep into like, what we're carrying forward, we also got to understand and come to grips with, identifying what we're leaving behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because in your next season, you can't essentially take all the baggage you had
Right.
from the previous season.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so I guess like you kind of hit on this, but I'll introduce the question of like, what mindset are you actively trying to unlearn right
Yeah.
now, based on, a lot of the conversations that we had this season?
Yeah, you know what? And if you don't mind, I'm gonna jump into this one because
Go ahead,
I don't even think it was based on a conversation that we had, bro. It might have been. I think it was still around the Dion having conversations with her and a few others throughout the season. But it's one, bro, that for me is like just staying calm, kind of like taking in and understanding like the surroundings and my example I'm gonna say is gonna be probably me and my son, my oldest son, because I think, bro, at times I know for like us growing up, it's a certain way that we had to react and respond to our parents.
Right.
And I almost want to like do the same thing that how we were brought up. And I think that now we can't. Something got to change.
But why not though?
Because I feel like
Because it was yes sir, no sir.
right. Well, not just that. No, it wasn't just that. Because it was also about like, not being able to like express yourself. It wasn't about, more of like it's a tone. Now, granted, with the tone, I need the tone to be
Right.
We need to be even on the tone. I don't want to play match for match on that.
Right.
But I think that I think for me, I'm still learning, or more so learning to unlearn how not to how my parents treated me, treat my kids the same way.
I see what you're
So,
saying.
and I'm trying, bro. I'm trying my hardest, bro. And to be honest, I will be honest on just this past season. I think I've been doing a lot better
Okay.
at those conversations with my son, my oldest
Okay.
son, and more so because I know how he is and I know how I am.
Right.
So we easily can go back and forth. But I'm like, you know what? You need to calm down because I don't even know if you showing if he feels the love that you really trying to give. So I think for me, bro, I think that you can either lose your kid or you can completely have your kid close when they like old. But it's a 50-50 shot. You never know.
And I think we talked about that one season, but
We
the
might
thing,
have.
but the old way is not dead. Cause look at all of us.
But all of us aren't good though, bro. I think like how we are. Look at me. I'm broken. I think all of us have like broken pieces.
Sure.
And not to say that a different parenting style would have fixed that, but I think that if we can possibly change what we were seeing, for example, ass whoopings.
I bet.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I can't do it, bro.
I beg to differ, man.
can't
Because
do it.
when God does a bless, I'm gonna tear their ass up. Because you know what? That's what like. There's still a hole in my parents. In my guest bathroom from when my mama put me through that joint.
Yeah.
They just put a picture over it.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
Yeah. I want you to remember.
Nobody,
Right.
nobody,
Move the picture.
nobody
Move the picture.
really used that bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just them two at the house now. But like, but what made me into it. Like I still say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am to my mama. You know what I'm saying? She's 70 years old. Any type of person that's older than me, I still say yes, sir, no, sir. And it's not just a job thing. It's just how I was raised. Kids don't say yes, sir, no, sir, no more.
No, you do. No, they
They
don't.
do it. They won't hold the door for an older person like
That I think
we
you got it. That you should teach. I feel
Right.
like regardless, you should be respecting the elders in a way of like opening the
right.
doors.
I mean, they did punishment at the school. Like the principal can paddle you. Yeah. I mean, you
that's so
can do-
different now, bro.
It's wildly different. Like
Yeah.
I've seen a kid that I went to grade school with, mama come through and discipline him in front of all of us.
In the
you know what I'm
class.
saying? In the class.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, and that was, but I see what you're saying, but I also believe like, you know, you spare the rod, you do spoil the child.
Yeah,
That's what I do
absolutely,
believe in.
absolutely.
But it's like,
levels.
kind of how we've been saying with everything. It's a balance, bro. Like,
Absolutely.
Because, you know, these kids that we're raising is not, yes, they come from our DNA, you know, but they're not bred like how we're bred it because society, like outside of our
Society,
home,
bro.
society is going to teach them so many different things
Mhm.
that's conflicting with, you know, what we try to teach in the household. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so it's like it's a battle between that and, you know, what they're seeing out
Yeah,
there or
yeah.
what their friends experience and all of these different things. And so it's definitely a fine line, man. So I know I agree with both points. I think it just depends on the situation.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
because I do feel that, especially with having, you know, my oldest is a girl, and you know, I don't like, it is very tough. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, like, when she grows up, these are the developmental stages that she's gonna be looking forward to when it comes to like how a man has treated me.
Right,
I'm
right,
the only
right.
one that she can look to at this point in time
Right.
of her life. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
a very delicate situation. I can only imagine because your oldest, he's a teenager. And
Yeah, bruh.
He's smelling this stuff.
same.
you know
Yeah,
what I'm
bruh.
saying?
And he gonna test you.
doing it.
And he gonna test you for sure.
He gonna test you.
Now, hear me out though. I'm not saying that Derek just gonna be like, oh yeah, you can run
Facts,
over me kind of thing.
facts,
That's not what I'm getting
Facts,
at.
absolutely.
I'm just saying like it's a way to deliver this message for him
sure.
to receive it and to know that this is coming from a space of love, one, but also you also still in the learning stage.
Absolutely.
Like you don't know
have everything
yeah.
figured out yet.
So
Yeah.
and I think that's my point is that I don't think nobody should be given into like retreating completely as a parent.
Right.
Like that's a no-go. But in terms of like the beatings and all the like the grading and all the other, I think that can
Not the degrading, but
Yeah.
it's time out. Go to time out, Johnny. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, time out is different now though. Take that technology. We talked about this last
Time
year.
out look different. It ain't
Yeah.
about standing in the corner.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
about, yo, let me get that PS5.
Yep.
And
You know what I'm
that
saying?
and that'll hurt him more than anything.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
feel like now, but there's also that belt to ass like aspect. You know what I'm saying?
That BTA,
I'm
bro.
just old school, bro. I'm just old school because it worked for me.
Yeah, it worked for you.
I know it worked for me, and then you know the
But
kids.
you-
But at work, man, I will tell you, I have never seen so many kids call 911 on their parents.
Yeah.
It's a different
And
day-
now they
age
doing it, right?
now, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah. But you know when they doing it? When they doing belt to ass.
Bro,
nowadays.
Oh, they ain't doing about that. They just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I wish I would call the cops on my parents. You know what I'm saying?
She'd be like, take them.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? We get a lot of parents now. They call the cops on their kids. Like, why you calling me to handle a parenting issue?
Yeah.
But I think
Tell them to get back inside the house. That's your kid.
yeah.
I can't beat them for you.
Yeah.
You could beat them. They still on the road. They still on the 18. You got to do that, and that's the problem with I feel like with society today. You know what I'm saying? Parents don't want to be parents no more.
I was gonna say that because that's where the balance come in, right? Like a lot of people, just what you said of like looking at your upbringing, it's just like what parts of this can I try to fine tune if you will, and polish to where I don't project that. So let me deal with my demons so my kids don't also inherit that, right? I get that. But at the same time, I feel like it's some parents, young parents, might I add, to where they probably shouldn't have had a baby at the time frame that they should have had.
Yep.
So where they're still growing and trying to identify themselves. And so with that, that's the byproduct of the situation. Because now it's just like, dang, I'm still trying to figure. And as parents, we all still trying to figure out. Let me first say that.
Right.
But age definitely makes a difference when you become a parent because you absolutely have endured some things in life and we teach in a manner
Absolutely.
that's different from like going back to the other episode of like when you were 20 for example, right? Like I can only imagine being a father in my 20s versus now. You see what I'm saying? And to each his own, right? But the point I'm trying to make is that I feel like younger parents or people who dive into parenthood at a younger age, they go to full 100 on the opposite end.
Right.
I'm not doing nothing.
Right.
My parents, whatever. And that would be my daughter or my son's friend. And that's kind of what you get out of that situation as well.
Right.
So at that point, we siblings.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You're not my equal, bro.
Exactly.
Right. I need you to understand, like, what's going on in this household. You see what I'm saying? And so I think it's definitely the balance part, but I think like people's situation, it varies because they're still trying to identify and learn themselves, but also trying to bring a young person up in the world, and they do it in a way to where it's just like, I'm more of your friend than I'm your parent. And that's also not benefiting the kid, in the upbringing.
Yeah.
No.
But that's a spicy take there. So y'all let us know y'all feedback on that for sure.
Y'all definitely get at that.
I think
and Rob spoiled tribe. If you beat him, you will not kill them.
Funny thing
that's
is
what my mama said.
Nah, bro. I mean, granted, I respect it though. To be honest, I respect it. But I'm the only one to answer the question. I don't know if y'all wanted to jump in. We indulged on that one.
I think it's for me, it's also in regards to like delivery. You know what I'm saying? And I think for me, what I want to unlearn is like trying to take responsibility of how someone feels when I give them constructive criticism. I think that's the thing I'm trying to learn. I dive too deep into how this person may feel, or I run through the whole situation in my head. You know what I'm saying? Before I respond. And to the point to where by the time I actually verbalize it, it's a watered down version.
Right.
To the point of where as I say it, it's not even really how I truly feel. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to unlearn, essentially giving a F, to a certain extent, because my feelings, I allow people to be themselves and truly express how they feel about me, and I should be able to, do the same thing. I'm not going to degrade or belittle anybody. You know what I'm saying? And how I communicate it. But I think that's the thing that I'm trying to unlearn, because it's like, I'm not getting anything out of the dialogue, essentially. I'm just focused on making you feel good. And doing that is the nice guy syndrome versus like, well, sometimes in relationships, not even just like with my wife or whatever, anything like that, but just any relationship you're in, like we were kind of talking about, like, the accountability partner, right? Of like your brother or your counsel and things like that. The same example goes there. You know what I mean? Like if I can't be truthful and transparent to you, if I got to give you a watered down version every time I feel like you need some feedback on the situation, especially if you solicit my feedback.
Absolutely.
I feel like I should be able to give it to you in a way to where it's from the true intent of my inside of my heart. And a lot of times I feel like when I speak on certain things to individuals, because I'm the type of person in my friend groups and my circle that, when I say things that hit different. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason.
You can't handle the truth.
And it's like,
that part.
for that, it says, oh, damn, Doc said this. Damn, that effed me up more than And that's just like, nah, that's not my intent. But
Yeah.
I need you to understand that what you did was effed up,
Yeah.
or like what you said, it could have been. So that's what I'm trying to unlearn, bro. I'm trying to
Yeah.
learn, trying to take on responsibility of how people may feel about what I got to say in regards to my feedback.
I think
about the situation.
that's just us learning to be assertive. I mean,
Right.
bro, I'm just trying to tell you straightforward from a good, in a sense, in a good space. But I got to be honest with you.
I gotta be honest with
I
you.
think people just need to accept the assertiveness.
Yeah.
But I would tell you the two people that did really good with those conversations this season, bro, was Dr. Halls and Fred.
Yeah.
They I really I
agree.
I appreciate them just being on the pod with us because they had so much. I ain't gonna say they had experience because they gonna both respond and come. They gonna tell them like, bro, you can't call me old. No, bro. We needed that wisdom so much on the pod, bro. And I think that those two cats they ended up dropping some gems for us on that same topic. Man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think I would try to work on better of being a listener. I like to listen and talk too. You know what I'm saying? Silence is not always bad. You know what I'm saying? I think we talked about that with Dion, but silence is not always bad.
Yeah.
But also me not wanting to get my 2 cents in there, just listen, hearing a person out versus, still what you got to say.
Yeah.
But let me get my 2 cents. Let me hear you out first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then let me sit on it for a second, and then let me come back to the conversation.
Yeah.
Versus, I was trying to add my 2 cents in, just being more receptive and hearing with my ears and not my mouth.
Yeah.
I feel that, bro.
Yeah.
My mom always used to
I'm
tell
good
me,
for hearing with my mouth.
especially if something was said that's like it wasn't your intent or what
Right.
from your perspective didn't happen or play out that way. It's
Right,
like, nah,
right.
now you that's defamation of character. It's like, nah, it's not
Right,
that fun.
right,
To a
right.
certain extent, it's just like, hold on, bro, that ain't me. Like, what you
Right.
talking about? But nah, I feel you on that, man. My mom's always told me, man, like everything don't deserve a response. And,
Yeah.
that stuck with me as well, bro,
That's
because
right.
it's like, yo, let me just sit back and listen and see what you got to say, because with that, it's not necessarily saying you don't care about what the person is saying,
Right.
but it's saying like, yo, you might have some substance here, or I feel like you trying to gaslight the situation and get a reaction out of it, and I'm not giving you that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, no, that's a good one for sure. So I think like as we kind of like segue a little bit, I want us to understand too, like we were just talking about like things that we wanted to unlearn and things like that.
Yeah.
And kind of like your example you gave about parenting, I think the principle of that, not that exact example, but the principle of it as far as just like traditional or changing things up. I think like I want us and our viewers also understand that, not everything needs to be replaced.
Yeah,
You know
absolutely.
what I'm saying? Some things just need to be protected essentially. And so I guess like the question that comes to mind from that, it's like what values are becoming non-negotiable for you in this stage of life?
I think my space, bro.
Yeah.
Doc, one that I know we joke you all the time about not answering it.
Yeah, he ain't gonna answer the phone. Bro. He ain't gonna answer the phone.
Me, bro.
He ain't gonna never answer the phone.
I'm trying to give it back to me, G.
He gonna text you too. He gonna text you.
I'm
He gonna answer the phone though.
Y'all listen, text me.
Hey, this
I am
man do not
going
answer
to
that phone,
the
bro.
bro.
That man do not answer that phone. But I think that's something, bro, that's actually pretty interesting because I'm the one that's usually always answering. I could be at work on a phone call and I'm on phone calls all damn day.
DB will answer the phone.
And I would be like, yo, you good? Like, because if you call, I'm like, let me just make sure this ain't no emergency. Because I don't know who got me on emergency. Don't call me for an emergency.
Right.
If it's an emergency, call somebody local. Call somebody local. But I'm always thinking like something could be wrong. So I'm like, let me just answer.
Sure.
But I'm like, bro, but what did that do for me? And I think that just being able to like own that space is something that I would say that I'm learning to be like for it to become a non-negotiable for me. And just out of respect, I mean, and I appreciate that conversation of when you say that you don't answer the call, you might not even get back when you're free, because that's my free time. I need my free time. I think I kind of need to maybe what's the proper word? I need to adopt something around that because I will stop whatever I'm doing to answer a phone call.
I think because of that, and not to say that it's a good or bad thing, whatever. I mean, just to each his own. But for me personally, man, I was a person like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, some people, bro, they don't know how to consolidate and give you what do you need from me at this point?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and they're not conscious of your time. They're not conscious of what you make, some competing priorities that you may have going on for the day.
Yeah.
Half the time they probably don't even ask you how you doing in
No,
your day.
facts. They
Right,
don't.
Just
right,
get in the
right.
car, hey,
Don't.
what's up? And then dive into it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
And so I've been that person. And so for me, not to give an excuse or whatever the case may be, but I just know that for me, I typically have think like in a somewhat addictive personality to where it's just like when I dive into something, I'm all in.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I'm like when it comes to golf, like I got bit by that bug and I'm all in. Like
Yeah,
that's all
yeah.
I, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
when it comes to hobbies, that's what I want to do. So and that's everything for me. You know, when I figure something out and it's just like, okay, this is what's happening, whether I've gotten some feedback from people in my close circle, just like, hey, have you thought about, it feels like from the outside looking in, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
I take all of that in mind. It's just like, you know what? I do have to protect my time. I
Right,
do have to
right.
protect, my accessibility or how people are accessible to me.
Mm-hmm.
And, how much am I giving of myself?
Yeah.
Because a lot of those times I wasn't getting anything in return.
Yeah.
And for our viewers, it's not to say that you only have to do something to get benefit from it. I'm
Yeah.
not
Right.
saying that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, bro, like you said, your cup gotta also be poured into.
Absolutely.
Some people who's seeking counsel or mentorship from you all may not be pouring in y'all's cups.
Yeah.
I would just leave it at that because and they, who they are. They call you. They only want you to help them with what they got going on.
Negative
They don't
energy.
know, and they don't even create the space for you to unload what
Mm-hmm.
might be happening as well.
Right.
With y'all besties,
Right.
all those things. So
Yeah.
hey,
Ride or
listen,
die.
in this new season, man, you gotta do a rehaul. You gotta understand, like, who's pouring in your cup. And I think to answer that question, I would say it's effort for me. That's a non-negotiable. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to overexert myself, for people who don't do the same for me.
Man.
And
Right.
there is a lot of opportunities, especially in the stage of life that I'm in, to where you can provide that level of like product. The proof is in the pudding. And if, I haven't heard from you in X amount of time, or if I haven't, whatever it may be, I just feel like it's no love lost, but it's just a situation of where don't expect me to overexert myself.
Absolutely.
And give the effort to be there for things that may be meaningful to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I'm at with that question of like, that's a non-negotiable for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And I feel like over time I've sucked at it, but now it's making sense and now I'm able to put it into practice. And people will definitely have some level of resentment for you. Think about like when we cross, bro. How many people be like, "Damn, bro, you acting different."
Yeah.
And this is a new season I'm in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to
Right.
be
Right.
refined.
Right.
I'm supposed to be renewed. I'm supposed to be
Polished.
polished in a way to where I wasn't the same person.
Yeah.
Right.
Not to say that I'm better than anybody.
Right. Right.
But I am a new person to where like I have another vision. I have another mission.
Yeah.
And so it's the same, type of principle, man, to where it's like this new season I'm in, yeah, it's definitely some non-negotiables. And some people can't take that. Some people are wanting you to be the old you.
Yeah.
And they're leeching and gravitating.
Yeah,
towards
man.
that. And if you're not benefiting from that process, man, all you're doing is stunting your growth.
Heard yourself. Yep.
Yeah. I think mine would be transparency and communication, man.
For sure.
Just like
Ongoing battle.
ongoing battle, bro. Communication, bro. Communication is key. It's so vital, and you need that to be a friend, to be a partner, to be a parent. Yeah, I mean, communication is key, and
Yeah.
I have not always been the best communicator, but I know like within the past year or two, I have got better with my communication, whether it be at work, whether it be at home,
That's what's
whether
up.
it be with my significant other. I mean, it's just like communication is key. We got to do it,
Yeah.
whether it's via text, via email. You know what I'm saying? You can send an email,
Oh.
and the communication you might sound completely different.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely one of my non-negotiables. Like communication has to be there, transparency has to be there. Let me know what your intentions are. Let's be transparent about the situation, whatever we got going on, or whatever the issue is at hand. Like, don't beat around the bush for me.
Yeah.
Let's not dance around it. You know what I'm saying?
I will say my dog Josh did give me three phone calls in the past 2 weeks, bro. So communication is
There you
definitely on
go.
your list.
Yeah,
man.
There you go.
Hey, I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, man.
I will say as a whole, I think we just need to do better with the ambiguous conversations in general.
That's it.
Like just being able to respond clearly, straightforward.
Yes.
And I think I ain't gonna hold you. I do it at work sometimes. I mean, granted, I think sometimes you do it at work because you're at work.
Right.
But I think straightforwardness is the way to go going forward,
Absolutely.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes too, man, like don't feel like you gotta dress it up in a way to where like it's so
Yeah.
I don't know, grand, whatever the case may be. Or
Mhm.
you
be
have to
fake.
have the right words to say.
Right.
Yeah.
But like
Be
sometimes,
yourself.
bro,
Yeah.
simplicity is all that makes the difference in the
Mhm.
matter. You know what I mean? And so yeah, no, I just want to add that segment in there too, because it's like some people, I think, kind of like what we talked about going back to episode 4 around like just you talked about a biggest conversation of just like the complexity of it. Sometimes as men we just don't know what the healthy way to approach the conversation may be,
Yeah.
and sometimes for us we do so much analytical processing to where we never really start. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's just like for me, and I could clearly go back to the episode and I'm like, yo, sometimes I've already did the processing and I don't even revisit the conversation. I'm just
Yeah.
like, yo, I'm done with it in my space.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm clearly discarding, the other person or persons who's impacted by
Mhm.
the situation. So sometimes, man, it's just like, yo, don't prolong the start. Like you don't have to have all the right words. You
Right.
don't have to have like the perfect, whatever the case may be. Just say what you got to say,
Absolutely.
man, and have check the temperature. You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Making
absolutely.
sure
Gotta check that temperature, bro.
You gotta check that temperature, bro. You don't want to get burnt on that
It's
stove.
hot, you know.
And you know what though? I seen this, and y'all probably seen it too. I know I at least reposted it a few times. I don't know the guy's name, but he specifically that topic at least. Um, he ended up calling out about like how we as black men we could be straightforward, and I'm gonna be candid with this one.
Sure.
Speaking to like your wife or your spouse, your partner, whoever. How you can be very straightforward, and we have to backtrack to redress the whole conversation because of the feelings of our person that's listening.
Yes.
And this don't even have to be just your spouse.
Absolutely.
It could be anybody.
Absolutely.
What are y'all thoughts on that in terms of like, because I think straightforward is definitely the way to go. Why do we do that, bro? Why do we let me at
You
least
can't handle the truth.
I'm gonna go
You're
from
not ready for the
I'm gonna go
truth.
from my thought. I think, and I could be completely wrong, but I think us as black men, we already in a space where we try our best to show our muscle, or we big black dudes, we got beards, in law enforcement. So sometimes like just that in general.
Sure.
I don't want to walk into a room and be, what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
but it's like I think that sometimes people see that, and they like no matter how you dress the conversation or the topic itself, that's how they see it. But and then we have to go back and clear ourselves up in terms of like what we meant. Why do we have to do that?
Man, bro. I
It's
feel
just the
you.
societal norm, bro.
And yeah, honestly, it is, and it's like a lot of people have that preconceived notion already, like what you're talking
Yep.
about before you even utter a word.
Yeah,
Well, you even
And
walk in the door.
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
with that, it comes with that just emotional intelligence, man. I think like, the person on the receiving end who's in that space has to have a level of maturity in them to create the space for you to be able to. So like a lot of times, and I'll be candid with this as well, a lot of times, man, it's like we're proven guilty until proven innocent.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And it's
That's
like
true.
it's like, damn, bro, like having my work speak
for
for
itself.
itself,
Yeah.
especially
Right,
for
right.
somebody who's close to me and know what I do on a day-to-day basis, right?
Right.
And so to your question of like the why, I think, man, it's just based on the type of guys we are. I think it's just based on, us wanting to making sure that the air is cleared, and we're doing our due diligence because we care a lot about how our character is projected.
Yeah.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
Could have said it better, dog.
and I feel like when my character is being played with, I take offense to that.
Absolutely.
It don't matter who it is.
Right, right.
You see what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And so when it comes to like the explaining and stuff like that, now granted, I did say earlier, hey, everything don't need a response. And so you gotta have some discernment in the situation where it's just like, does this warrant a response? Is this person gaslighting the situation?
Right.
You kind of gotta like feel it out a little bit. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think for the most part, especially if it's somebody that you care about, I think based on the love and care that you have for that person,
Yeah.
you feel like it warrants the extra mile for you to explain and making sure that it's alignment on both ends.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely, especially in a relationship, man, that you can try to avoid that all you want. So
Absolutely.
It's not going nowhere.
Absolutely.
Like you
Not
have
at
to
all.
over communicate. You know
got
what I
to.
mean? I could say something on Monday. Today is Tuesday.
Day. Mhm.
And it's like we never had the conversation.
Conversation.
It's like, bro.
Yep.
And I'm gonna be on camera on this one.
I swear I told you that.
Yeah,
We just had this conversation. Nah, we ain't talk about it.
We ain't talking.
yeah, man.
But on the flip side, though, I do the same thing.
I can
You
see
know
that.
what I'm saying?
It's us too.
It's
It's
the
us
same
too.
thing. It's like, yo,
It's us too.
It's us too.
I
Yeah,
swear,
baby,
I
call it
swear
out.
we talked about this, but it's okay.
Yeah, like
It's okay.
so. I mean, to answer your question, I don't know if I answered it. I feel like I try my best to, but
Yeah.
yo, the why is just based on like the person. You got to know your player personnel, bro.
Yeah.
Like for example, I love to do like basketball analogies, right? Like I was a point guard growing up when I played ball, and so for me, I gotta know my player personnel on the team. I gotta know my shooters.
Yeah.
I gotta know how he wants the ball to be passed to him to get the shot up. For my bigs, you want to lob, you want to bounce pass. Like
Right.
sometimes, like I knew, like if I threw a certain pass, my big not catching.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
If it's
yeah.
a fast break, they looking like, hey, throw it. No, sir.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
In practice, bro,
You already know you're not gonna catch
you're
that.
not catching that.
So
And
we're
that
not
was a
gonna do it
turnover
again.
on me.
Yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna do it
yeah,
game time.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you got to know your player personnel. Like anybody who you trying to have like a real very complex or delicate conversation with, you got to understand like how they like to receive communication as well.
Yeah.
Because communication style has to change given
Absolutely.
the audience.
Man,
correct.
per
See what
person.
I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
Per person.
yeah.
That's tough, man.
But no, that's a good question though, bro. I'm glad you asked that because that
Absolutely.
is very real and relevant to a lot of like people's situations, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, we do feel as men we have to again prove ourselves innocent because the preconceived notion is that we already guilty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah.
that sucks a lot of times, I will say. But
Yeah.
you know, at
Yeah.
this point, you kind of got to get used to
Yeah,
it.
what it is, man.
It is what it is, man.
Please, ball.
We'll, we'll keep it going, man. Cool. Now that's a good question though. I guess like with this one, like when we talked about, I think you called it out, Josh, around like transparency and things like that. This, I guess, this kind of falls in line with that. What are you intentionally choosing in your next chapter?
Just to be a better me, man, and just
I love
growing. Just that's it. And I'm in that right there. Just be a better me and just
1%
continue to grow,
every
bro.
day.
Just to continue to grow. I ain't got to beat that one down, bro.
Yeah.
Just trying to do better. Be a better me, bro.
Yeah, I think, man, I could probably so many titles, bro, that we have, and I think
wear
you
many
know,
hats, bro.
One that I think I don't say this enough times on this pod is that being a father has been. I feel like God placed me here strictly to be a father, but also obviously my number one job is I'm a husband. Being better than yesterday in all of my jobs is something I need to continue to do. I try my best to just beat yesterday. I had a T-shirt. It was a Nike shirt that literally said "beat yesterday," and I bought that jump back in like probably like 2015. And that's when I was like, "Damn, that's actually fire." I was only 24 at the time.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Hit different.
yeah. But
yeah.
Now, mind you, I was a lot smaller at the age of 24. I still got that damn T-shirt today.
Can you
But
beat it though?
yeah, I can. I mean, if I wanted to, I can wear it as an undershirt.
Walk around the house.
Yeah, I can wear it if I want to. You see the black line of that jump. But just beating yesterday, bro. The 1% Club, man. I think that just I think Doc, even you just said it a minute ago. Just know your personnel. I think just knowing the people that are around you. I know we had like the back and forth about like the parenting thing in terms of like how you wanted in a certain household, but I think for me, even society has kind of like moved our kids in a different way, especially if they have access to an electronic, like social media, things like that. And so I think, bro, just based off of that, the things my kids are introduced to, the things that I'm putting my wife on in terms of social media. We had the conversation with Dr. Halls. Man, so many things, bro, have been put into perspective this season.
Yeah.
That I think for me, bro, is literally just trying my best to improve every single day from yesterday. So that's I can't even dig no deeper than that.
Yep.
I agree, man. And I definitely plus one that. I think ultimately, yes, I do want to be 1% better each day. Whatever aspect of life it may be, you know what I'm saying? Professional development, better father, better husband, better son, like whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think for me though, it'll probably fall in the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Man, I think I want to be intentional. I know I want to be intentional, you know, about choosing my heavenly father in my next chapter in a lot of my situations. I think a lot of times, man, especially when you get to a certain status and you're hitting your goals and you manifest things and it's coming to pass, you know, you start to think like me. I did that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? And I think you can easily get humbled when you start to think like that. And I think for me, not to say that has happened to me, but I do feel like not even just myself, but this whole country, man, we're in a spiritual warfare.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
whether you want to believe it or not, we can talk about that on a whole different segment. But I feel like that for me is what I want to be intentional about, with just including, you know, God and my relationship with God, you know, in my next chapter
Yeah.
of life.
Yeah.
Walking that journey a
Yeah.
little bit deeper, doing my due diligence and diving more in the Word, and you know, letting my life reflect that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let it ooze that. Like let my kids feed off of that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And putting them in positions to where, you know, not to say that when they grow up and leave the household, like we've seen it before, right? People can come up in a God fearing household and can be the complete opposite
They
when they
flip the
leave.
script, bro.
You know, but I know as a parent, I did my part. You see
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? And so that's kind of where I want to be, not even just from a parenting aspect, but even in the marriage aspect as well.
Yeah.
We're in a covenant,
Right.
you know, and we
Absolutely.
have to treat it as such. You
Yeah.
know, it's not our doing. A lot of things are ordained by the higher power, and we got to understand that. You know, we made it here because of grace
Grace, yeah.
and things that was
Absolutely.
allowed to happen for us. So yeah, that's what I would say about that, man, of what I want to be intentional about. But awesome answers thus far, man.
that's
Hope y'all
love, man.
enjoying the episode so far, man. We
Yeah,
having
man.
dope conversation. We in person, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just
Hey,
enjoying,
absolutely.
we just enjoying the vibes,
Absolutely,
man.
man.
Season finale, man.
Yeah,
Season
bro.
finale,
So
man.
hopefully, you know, this is resonating well with y'all.
Hey, next year we got to do this thing on a beach somewhere.
Come on, man.
Hey, let's
Yeah.
let's be that thing into it.
Man,
Come
we
on,
do it,
man.
What they be doing these days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely got to do that.
Yeah, we definitely
But
got to speak that one.
man,
Then,
it's definitely been a great season. I can definitely say
Yeah.
that we've all took something away from this
Yeah.
season with the special guests and you know Fred and Doc and you know Dion and you know it's just been a great. It's been a great, absolutely great season. I look forward to getting on with you guys and talking, just having these conversations, man. For
sure.
I feel like just like we was in college, but more maturity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely on a
You
more
know,
mature level.
it's just definitely a round table talk, man, and I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Likewise.
It's definitely a full circle moment, man. And I think like ultimately like that like it's a blessing in disguise. You know what I'm saying? Like we endured our personal journeys, we endured journeys with one another. You know what I'm saying? Never a physical discourse or anything like that, but
Right.
you know, a lot of like, you know, just disagreements on situations and all
Yeah.
of these things. And I think like it's definitely a full circle moment to, you know, be here and talk about these things, you know, with some good brothers, man. So now I think it's definitely that, and I don't know, man. Maybe we have a time for one more question.
Yeah,
but
let's squeeze one more.
I definitely want to see like you all's thoughts on this of like what are you committing to, you know, whether anyone sees it or not. Like as we talk about this going forward mentality of where we're taking it to our next season, like, you know, what's one thing that y'all feel like y'all are just like committing to, kind of similar to like the non-negotiable, but you know, just diving into that at a deeper lens.
I think for me, bro, pouring into my own cup.
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
That's a good one.
That's-
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
with you on. I'm with you on that. DB.
I'm gonna have to go with pouring into my own cup.
We might as
bro.
well end it right there.
Yeah, because
That's it right there, boy. That's it right there.
man, I think that I think sometimes we yearn to try to like find people to do that for us.
Yeah.
When in reality, I think we're enough of a reminder to do that ourselves. I mean, don't get me wrong, I got good people around, but everybody's not free. Like
Right.
we just talked about that a minute ago too. You got to remember to you got to put you first. I mean, granted, even going to church, I feel like church is a way to continue to pour into yourself.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like hitting the gym is a way to pour into yourself. For
sure.
Getting that quiet time, riding in the car with no music on.
Yeah,
It,
bro.
reading books. And to be honest, bro, I'm spilling all this stuff out because these are spaces that I need to improve in. And I want to continue to do if I'm still doing it already. I just want to do it consistently. But definitely pouring into my own cup and even then, because I still truly believe in the three circles: the love circle, the circle of counsel, and then the circle of discernment. I look at the circle of discernment as that's a huge circle of people.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that circle of people can't pour into my cup.
Right.
I like to pour into theirs,
Yeah.
but I can't pour from an empty cup, like Josh said.
Right.
So I think for me, fill your cup. You got your circle of counsel. Your circle of counsel can fill into your cup as well. But I want to be able to do that for myself, bro. I think I want to move more into that space. But still, obviously, I need my circle of counsel. I want to make sure we speak heavily on that piece too.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. But not it seem like dependent on that. Like,
Absolutely.
you have that self motivation and you have that. No, I love that. Bro.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I piggyback off that with DB and Doc, what you said earlier about trying to get that better walk, and we've been raised up in the church and just trying to mirror that and take that into our adult life because they beat it over us over the head when we was kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We ain't had no choice, but I remember when I was like, man, when I get I ain't going back to church, man. I ain't going back to church.
Yeah.
Sunday school, Bible study, prayer meeting, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I was in church about 4 or 5 days a week.
I mean, revival, you know what I'm saying? Dead at 10 o'clock at night. I got school tomorrow. I'm just like, man.
Like I do go to work.
You know what I'm saying?
I got church for
But faith is faith and grace, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we, just think about it, man. How many people have so many people driving on the road, man. God's keeping this grace and mercy that's keeping that car on the other side of those lines. That somebody just ain't looking down at their phone that come over to hit you head on.
And they doing it all the time.
Man, all the time, man. All the time. But just trying to get that walk, get that faith back, bro.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still got it, but it's just like walking in that faith. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's one thing for me, man.
Absolutely.
That's one thing
I couldn't agree more, fellas. And I'll just reiterate what I said before, just going back to the spirituality of things. And, and I think it's the how to, right? Like, you can live stream things, you can be in a church house, man, to get your fix, man, and then go about your business or whatever the case may be. But I think for me, it's really diving into the word. And not even just like based on my own understanding, but seeking that counsel from others as well.
Yeah.
Gain a perspective on what I'm taking in.
Yeah.
I think like you called it out, man. I was in the vacation Bible school. I was in the choir, like all of that stuff, bro. Boy, listen, man, revivals, all of that. And you hear some of these passages, man, and it's like, you heard it all your life, but as an adult, dive into it and again and asking questions like, hold on. Why such and such? At that point, we weren't asking those questions.
Right.
We were just taking it at face value.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And as we've experienced and lived a little bit, and these things, and we're able to kind of dive back into the text, man, I think that's what I'm committed to. And I want my responses to people to be from the word.
Yeah.
I want how I live my life to be from that.
Yeah.
And use that as like a blueprint, is what I want to be committed to in this next season. So,
Absolutely.
for sure. Man, this has been enjoyable, fellas.
Man, it's been a good one, man.
Season 2.
Hey.
Man, we
Season
live
2
and
in the
live in
books,
color.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it,
Like
man.
this has been awesome.
It's
DB,
cool.
appreciate you, man, for the vision and also, just for making this trip to do this and make it possible, man. So
Look, I think we're long overdue, fellas, man. We was talking about this joint last season.
Yeah,
that's
trying
what
to
I'm
get
saying.
yeah.
Bro. So
we
for
was
sure.
able to make it happen, bro.
Yeah, so no, it was a pleasure, man. I was able to get some good plugs on the flight. So I was we could probably make this happen again sometime soon.
sure.
Yeah.
But look, man, this wraps up the finale for us, man. Season 2, episode 12. Listen, it has been a complete pleasure, y'all. This year we had some phenomenal guests. We had some phenomenal topics. I want to thank each one of those guests individually. And please make sure I'm not missing anybody. I want to give a shout out to Dion. I want to give a shout out to Tay. I want to give a shout out to Lil Kev,
Tay,
Brother
Lil Kev.
Halls, Nick, Bankshot, and also my brother Fred.
Yes, sir.
Anybody that I didn't.
I think
Okay.
That's it. That's everybody.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much.
We appreciate y'all, man.
For our viewers, thank you. We only going up.
Yes, sir. Now, listen, I'm going to close it out with this. What is this table? Transparency. As you can see, we might not agree on every topic, which is cool. But you know what? I think we always come back. We make sure we learn something about ourselves. And also, hopefully, we can give you something to kind of think on as well. I'm very open. Well, we're very open to hearing your comments. So please leave something down in the bottom. Let us know what we can improve. If you got some feedback for us, we go from there. But otherwise, season 2, this concludes.
Yes,
Oh, man. Yes, sir.
We out here.
Yes, sir.